Welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. In today's episode, I am creating some pumpkin DIYs for you. These pumpkins are easy and simple, but yet make a very big statement. I think you're going to love each and every one of them. It's also a collaboration that I'm doing with some friends of mine. I'll tell you about that later in the video. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. When you see your favorite project in today's video, remember to hit that thumbs up. Let's go make some DIYs. I picked up this unfinished pumpkin stack at Hobby Lobby, but I've seen them at Five Below, at Dollar Tree. I think even Walmart, I've seen something similar to this. But I figured I'd pick this up and give you guys a different idea of maybe how to make it over if you happen to see one that you like or want to try this out. So I'm just giving this a base coat of white paint. It takes a couple of coats to get the coverage that I want, and I do cover everything completely with the white. Now it does have the little raised areas on the pumpkins in thirds, and so I thought it would be fun to do some stenciling and some different pumpkin colors. So rather than do each layer its own color in the solid color of the pumpkin or do scrapbook paper, I thought this would be a really fun, different way to kind of bring a little bit of color in. It has a very French country feel to it, and I just love using stencils for different projects like this. Now, when this is done, it will have a very much like that pressed tin look, which is really popular right now, and I think it looks really good. So I'm using a couple of different stencils. I had only 2 different stencils, so I decided which one I'm going to duplicate, one on the top pumpkin and the bottom pumpkin, and then the middle one has its own different design. But I kind of just turned my stencil in different ways on each of the different little pieces of the pumpkin. Now you can see when I lifted up that middle one, I felt like there was some open areas towards the top of the design. So I'm just going to use my stencil, turn in a different direction to add a couple more elements on there. Now on the bottom one, I have this different design here that I thought would be fun. And I'm going to do orange on my base pumpkin. That middle one was kind of a green color. And then I will do kind of like a brownish caramel color since I already had the base painted white. I thought that would be kind of a fun option. But you can customize this to be whatever colors are going to match your decor the best. It was kind of fun because this design on the stencil fit all the way over the entire top pumpkin because it was small enough, so I was able to get all of that design in one sitting with the stencil. Now, I love things being aged. I love things being rustic, so I am taking my fingernail file to sand this down, to age this. You can see I am going over all of where I painted that stencil as well to give it a faded look. Totally optional. I personally, it's totally my style. It's very farmhouse. I love things to look like they came with a story or that they have been around for a long time. So I take my time going on each section and just kind of going over this to give it that real rustic sanded look. I feel like this looks like pressed tin. I think it's so cute. You guys are going to have to let me know if you can see the face in that middle pumpkin. When I was editing this, she kept staring back at me almost like she was blowing me a kiss. So you'll have to look at it and let me know if you can see her looking at me. But I do think this turned out really cute. I love this for fall. It's kind of a different take on this stack of pumpkins. I love the different stencils on there. And you're going to have to let me know if I need to redo that middle pumpkin to get that face to be, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I'm like, maybe I need to turn the stencil a little bit in a different direction. But I really do think this is a very chic look, very French country, a very crisp, clean look. And I love how it turned out. I am so excited that today's video is part of a fall collaboration. I am getting together with some of my most fun YouTube friends. I love when we get together and do collaborations, and we decided to make this one the pumpkin season collab since it is just that. It's pumpkin season, guys. I am joined by Linda from Linda's DIY by Design, Patty from Patty J. Good, and Wendy from White Sparrow Living. We have a playlist link for you that is down in my description box. It's also pinned in my comments, so you can easily find it. You can watch all of our videos and get all of the fun pumpkin and fall inspiration that you need. Thank you again to these very talented ladies. When you visit their channels, make sure you say hello and see all of the wonderful creations they have made for you. do yourself a favor and go pick yourself up a drop cloth at your local Home Depot or Lowe's, and there are so many projects you can do with it, and it's going to last you literally forever. So I have this drop cloth, and I just cut out a piece of it, and I'm tracing out some different shapes of some pumpkins. We're going to do a couple little like bowl filler or shelf sitter pumpkins made out of fabric, and I'm just eyeballing. We're going for an extremely primitive look with these. They look so cute when they're done. And so I'm shaping out like a larger pumpkin that's like a normal shape, a tall pumpkin, and then just maybe like a little bit smaller, squattier pumpkin. I want to do one in like 3, each in a different color. So like 1 orange, 1 white, and 1 green. So, and I kind of use those colors with my pumpkins when I'm decorating, so that's why I'm drawn to those colors. Now I'm using my pinking shears to cut these out. You guys know that I don't sew. It's not because I don't love to sew. I just don't have a good sewing machine, and I don't have the patience for it. So I need to get better at that. I truly do. But these are so easy because you can do them quick and you can glue them, and they are so cute. If you cut them out with the pinking shears, you have a little bit less fraying on them. You want a little bit of fraying because, again, we're going for a really primitive look on these. So when I cut them out, I'm just kind of cutting around where I traced or drew. And if something looks kind of off, like on the pumpkin, it looked like that corner was a little bit weird to me, I'm just going to fix it. But these do not need to be perfect. Now I'm using some hot glue and I'm going around. Now this is where I made one mistake that I would redo, so learn from me, is I left the bottom open where I could stuff this from the bottom. I should have left it open in the top where the stem goes, so that way I can easily glue my stem in at the top. So that's the only change that I would make. So again, learn from me what I'm saying, not what I'm doing. This way worked too. You have to leave an opening anyway to put the stuffing in, so you might as well just do it where you're going to have to put your stem in anyway. So again, you're just going to glue around these, leaving an opening for stuffing, and that's how you're going to attach your front to your back. I really love the way that the painted drop cloth comes out when these are done. So I am painting the front and the back. You can do, I'm saturating the drop cloth really well. You could even do like a dry brushing over these just to give that hint of orange and have it be really rustic looking, which I kind of do a little bit with the white pumpkin that I do, but I really do like the way that looks too. So you're going to do this kind of to your style and what you like. But I do on these, I'm saturating each side pretty decently with the chalk paint, and that drop cloth does absorb quite a bit of paint, so you do end up using quite a bit of paint on these. With this one, I had a little sponge brush and I thought I would try that, and it lasted about that long, and I went, nope. It is much better with the brush to have your bristles to be able to get all of the paint into the fibers and everything on the drop cloth. So lesson learned, the sponge brushes do not work well in this instance. Now I could have left this one the natural drop cloth color, but I decided to paint it white so it would actually match the others with the same type of texture and everything. But that would be super cute to make it and leave it just the plain drop cloth color as well. So this one I am kind of doing a little bit of a lighter coat of white on here to kind of have it be more splotchy, or to kind of show you that you don't have to saturate it completely, and it still turns out super cute. I think actually I do one side with the super thick paint and the other side not as thick. Here's a look at all of them together. Now these do take a little while to dry if you saturate them pretty good. So I'd say leave them for about 24 hours. You could probably speed up the process with like a heat gun or something, but I just let them naturally air dry. Now I have this stamp. It came from Hobby Lobby and it has this like cursive script on it. And I just love using it in my French country DIYs. And I really just thought it would be kind of fun to do this on the pumpkins and kind of add a little bit more texture to it. Something that is totally optional if you like the look of it, or you have, I've seen some with even bigger script, which I don't have a bigger script stamp, but I think that would be beautiful to do on these. So I just kind of used what I had, and I did like the way that it looked, but I only did it on one side, so I had that option if I wanted to turn the pumpkin around and not have this on there. But I found it was easier with this stamp to press the pumpkin down onto the stamp rather than press the stamp onto the pumpkin, just because of how stiff the paint and everything makes the drop cloth. So this was definitely the easier method. There are so many different ways that you could embellish these, and so the possibilities are endless. This is just to get those creative juices flowing for you to think of how you would tailor it for your home or your booth that you'd like to sell items in. I just think that the choices are endless for what you could do with these. I have this pillow that was on my back porch, and it started to get a little bit of worn, like rips or holes in it. So I decided to use it for my stuffing. And so I'm just going to cut this open. I was actually quite surprised to see that the fluff inside of it was kind of this dark color, but it makes sense. So, and it's fine because you're not going to see it. So if you have pillows that are wearing out or anything, hang on to them and keep that fluff and use it for different projects like this. Now I'm just putting that fluff inside and using a little dowel to kind of zhuzh that around, make sure it's getting into all the nooks and crannies and everything like that. It's going to make your life a lot easier than trying to stick your hand in there figuring all of that out. Once you've filled this up, you're just going to use a little bead of hot glue along that opening, and that is going to seal it off. I'm just using the dowel to help kind of push this because that glue does seep through the drop cloth a little bit. So wear some finger protectors if you're worried about it, or like I did here, I just used the dowel, and then I actually ended up grabbing one of my little craft clips or clamps to place on it to help it until it dried. And I'm just going to do the same thing with these other two pumpkins, filling them with the fluff. I'm just showing you that I wish I had left the opening at the top rather than at the bottom of the pumpkin, but I will fill these in the same manner, and I will use that little bead of glue along the opening to close them off. I'm taking some sticks that I have that I collected from my yard or my farm. I just kind of keep them in a little like bucket in my craft room. I use them all the time for projects like this. And I'm just putting a little one inside of the top with some hot glue. I don't even like try to reopen where I've already glued the fabric together. I'm just setting it down in the seam to glue it, and it works nicely to do that. But again, if I had left this open right there, it would have stuck down in a lot easier. So I'm going to do the same thing with all three pumpkins just to give each of them a cute little stem. And that is everything I am doing with these pumpkins today. There are so many different possibilities or ways that you could embellish these, but have a look at the three of these together. I think they're so cute. They would be such a cute little shelf sitter. They would be perfect to have as bowl filler. I just think they're beautiful, and they're very French country, and there's something like primitive about them, something simplistic but yet elegant. I just think these turned out so cute and would be such a fun, different project for you to make and have in your home. What do you guys think of these? This is such a quick and easy DIY. Now, I found this at a thrift store, and I feel like you find things like this all over thrift stores. It's just some little cutout wood tile, but I'm just taking some pumpkin colored or orange colored chalk paint. You probably could have even left it white too, or done some different colors, but perhaps you have a piece like this lying around your home that you just want to give a little bit of a fall makeover to or repurpose it. I don't want full coverage on this. I want some of the white to still peek through. I like that rustic look. I do like the fact that this is square. It does have that circular design. I kind of like using unique things to make pumpkins out of, but just giving this a little bit of coverage, enough that it has that pop of orange for fall. Now I'm just taking a little bit of hot glue. This is just a stick from my yard. I love to find sticks at our yard or our farm and cut them up to use for different DIYs. So it's free, it's fun, it has a real rustic look to it. And then a little bit of Spanish moss. I feel like the Spanish moss really brings in all of those tendrils and different viney type elements that a pumpkin would have. So I felt like that was a great addition to this. I did not add any leaves or anything. I thought I would leave the silk granary off of this particular DIY, but I still love the way that it looks here. I think that this little bit of Spanish moss really kind of brings home that rustic feel. Now I'm taking just a little bit of dry brushing here. This is just a little bit of white paint left in my brush, and I'm just going over this to brighten it up a bit. Totally optional. Again, you're going to make this whatever color works best for your decor for fall, but look at how cute this looks. Super easy. I mean, this project took literally less than 5 minutes to do, and what a fun little piece of tiered tray decor or to tuck into your fall decor on a shelf. I just really love how this turned out. What do you guys think of this one? Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and watch this fall inspired video. I am so excited to be creating fall DIYs. They are some of my favorites, and I have so many different ones to try for you. Do you guys have a favorite from today's video? Let me know down in the comments. Also remember that there is a playlist link down in my description box, as well as pinned in my comments, that has all of my other friends and their beautiful creations that they have made for you for our pumpkin party today. So definitely check them out. Say hello to all of their channels while you're there. Subscribe and show them some love. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting!
If you like the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.